Okay, hello everybody. Today's date is June 20th, 2021. My name is Leslie Williams. I live in San Diego, California. I'm a target victim and activist concerning the continued criminal expeditions of what is known as gang stalking. I'm going to segue right into the motive of this video. So if you don't know anything about gang stalking or anything concerning what's being described or exposed in this video, just take my statements and research them extensively at Google, and many times most of my statements that I make that I expose concerning this crime can be also massively found on YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and segue into the motive of this video, which is the subject matter. Now, the first thing I'm going to expose in this video is the fact that many gang stalking victims all over the internet are finding themselves in a position to where they have to create their own shielding to protect themselves from directed energy weapons attacks, electromagnetic weapons attacks, ultrasonic sound bone conduction, the microwave hearing effect, remote neuromonitoring, voice to skull, ELF broadcasting, ELF weapons, and so on. So remember, take my descriptions and extensively research them to Google, at Google, to gang stalking, then to organized stalking. Organized stalking and gang stalking is the same exact identical crime. This crime goes by a few different names, mostly gang stalking and organized stalking. So know that you're going to get massive search results concerning my descriptions. The first thing I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to try and show you some evidences, okay, concerning the specific targeting. I got to put things carefully because I am dealing with a crime that is widely reported to intentionally, criminally, falsely diagnose gang stalking victims with mental illnesses in order to discredit them because of what is actually factually happening to them is related to extreme forms of torture, even mass murder. So one of the things that the system is reported to be doing is intentionally, falsely, criminally labeling gang stalking victims as being mentally ill based on their statements and including through their exposures online, which the system will absolutely look for creative ways to make it appear they have a normal appearing reasons to know that your exposures are online. So let me just light a cigarette here so I can take a puff off, so I can smoke it occasionally while I'm talking to you. Hold on. Now, the first thing I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to expose, so remember that last statement, it's extremely relative. Now, one of the things that I got to do first is I'm in a tent right now because this crime intentionally made me homeless, from 4 apartments in Michigan at least and 1 in Tennessee. So as a result of me being in a tent and as a result of the particular exposure that I'm trying to immediately expose to here in about 2 seconds, I am finding myself having to take a clothespin and rig it up to a corner of this black industrial garbage bag that I just pulled in front of me in order to create shade in this tent so you can see what I'm about ready to expose to you. I got to get up for a second here in order to put a clothespin on one end of it so it stays in position. So bear with me a second. I didn't know that this was like this, or I would have done it before I started the video. Alright, so now that that's done, now what I'm going to show you right away, I got to talk fast because I want to try and conclude this video. I don't want to have to make 2 videos. This phone only allows me to make 33-minute long videos at a time. Concerning, like, once you get to the 33-minute mark, when I go to put this on YouTube, once it passes 33 minutes, you got to then download whatever is after 33 minutes into a second video. It's the best way I can immediately say it. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm literally showing you a black industrial type garbage bag that I bought through Walmart a long time ago. And I use this in order to protect me from the rain. It's literally on the tent itself, okay, on the top part of it, and it's also on all sides of it except for the floor underneath the tent, okay? So the reason why this is used, the reason why it was propped up is twofold. That is so that it protects me from the wind, the rain, whenever it happens, and also so that when it gets dark out and I'm either got my flashlight on and or the any type of light that's projected from my phone when I might be watching a YouTube video or whatever, I don't want the perpetrators to have a normal apparent excuse concerning using anybody that they could prop up, including even neighbors, to claim that they saw light coming from a wooded area after dark. Because that's one of the things that gang stalking will do, is literally prop that type of shit up so they have normal apparent excuses to report you, to have you arrested for illegal lodging, which is camping, trespassing, or encroachment. Gang stalking is capable of everything and anything. Literally. So let me go ahead and show you the reason why I'm showcasing this too. So this in the daytime, this is pushed up on the top of the tent so I can see what's, in front of me. Excuse me, please. Visually. Right now I pulled it down, so right now it's down in front of the open door of the tent. And the reason why I pushed it down is because now darkness has been created in the interior of the tent because there's no light now being shown in it from the environment. It's in the morning right now, San Diego Pacific time, going on 8 a.m. So, in other words, this is what it looks like outside, okay? And then since I got this covered in front of the door of the tent, you're not seeing that anymore. What you're seeing is this black industrial-sized garbage bag, which is very thick concerning its millimeter width. Okay. And so, what do you see here? You see 3 distinct, almost pin-typed holes. This right here, you see a hole, but it's not a perfect circular hole. You'll understand why I'm showing you this in a minute. This right here is absolutely a almost perfect, completely perfect circular hole. And I'm just going to show you the rest of them here. Show you not the rest of them, but the ones that are on this immediate part of this garbage bag. So I want you to pay very close attention to their shapes. Now you got to also understand that this is not perfect. This is not perfect. If it was laid out on the ground, okay, in a way to where no contours of it hanging down creates contours. Like if I go like this, okay, it's going to momentarily disrupt the actual shape of the holes. So I'm trying to, present it in a way to where it's as flat as possible. So it's not creating contours of the hole so you can see the actual shape of the holes. This right here is almost perfect in it, concerning it being a perfect circle. There's actually 2 of them. Okay, and then these down here have different specific shapes, and you'll understand this in a minute. Here's another one. It's almost a perfect circular hole, and then a bunch of, I don't know how well you're seeing the rest of these, a bunch of other ones that are very small in size. Okay, trying to get it in a way to where the light shines on it so you can see them. Okay, the light being from the environment. Okay, so there's actually quite a few here, but it's not being picked up real well. Okay, because they're so small. That one right there is absolutely a perfect circle. And the reason why, okay, so you're seeing that. Okay. I don't know why you're seeing red there on that one. Okay. And then that right there. Okay. And then it's got a bunch of little ones that you can hopefully see somewhat. Okay. Throughout it. Now, this is literally on the entire black industrial size garbage bag, okay, that covers the entire top and sides, okay, of the front and right and left side of the tent itself. Okay, do you notice how that's a perfect W right there, almost? Another one right there, perfect W. Okay, then a few over here. These appear to be 5 different, probably back-to-back directed energy weapon laser attacks, and then these up here. Now, I believe the reason why these got created is because you got to remember these directed energy weapons laser attacks. They are heat. Okay, notice how these 3 definitely appear to be almost symmetric, which are probably back-to-back attacks. Okay, because think about it, if they did one at 7 a.m., then one at 9 a.m., then one at 10 a.m. or 10 p.m., let's just say, the chance of them directing it at the same exact identical spot, 20, 30, 40 minutes or more, away from each other, it wouldn't, they probably wouldn't be able to perfect that type of attack if there's a lot of time distance between each one at the same spot. Okay? It makes more sense that these were back-to-back attacks, sequential attacks, that happen within an extremely short time period, like within seconds. Okay? There's another one right here. I don't know how well you're seeing that. They're all over. It's all over. A lot of them you can't see because they're so small, and because of the way that the black garbage bag is right now in front. I mean, look at that. Okay? And you should know these lower ones here mean that the body is being attacked as it's laying down and or sitting up. That means they're targeting the torso, the kidneys, okay, the legs and shit like that. Okay, because these wild horrors, they target everything, every part, from brain to toe, literally. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this down like this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on one of my camping lights, and you're going to understand that here in a second. Now, if this ends up being a two-part video series, if I go past 33 minutes, that means that then whatever amount of time that the video continues past 33 minutes will be dedicated to a second video. So whatever YouTube account you eventually see this video through, look for a second video that shows me stating the same date at the beginning of it, June 20th, 2021. Now, I've now propped up this camping light here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you right now this aluminum foil shielding that I created. And once I prop this up in front of the light, okay, it's going to show you, you'll be able to see what this shielding looks like in a minute, okay? Right now what I'm going to try and do is show you as many holes as I can from this aluminum foil shielding. This shielding was just created just in the past week and a half. Okay, just in the past week and a half. Again, today's date is June 19th, 2021. It was utilized at this area. I'm going to show you a landmark concerning this area. Okay, before I conclude... Oops, hold on, my light fell. Before I conclude this video. Okay, so bear with me. I got to set this light back up. Hopefully it won't fall again. Okay, so what I'm... Alright, it fell again. So let me use a different light. Hold on one second. You're going to understand all this here in a minute, folks, so just bear with me. All right, so let me actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set these lights up right here that I'm, because I got two of them. So I'm going to set both of them up, and I'm going to set them up over here. Okay, and then bring the shielding back over to the part where they're at, so you can see the holes better. Okay, so now I got them over here, and I'm going to try and situate this in a way to where it really shows it, and I didn't expect to have this type of problem. So the light holes that you see through this, and this is a piece of shielding that was just created, okay, in the past week and a half. Now you see, that's not the best reflection. Let me open up this, let me bring, I don't know if this is going to work or not. No, that's not going to work. It's too much light. Bear with me a second, folks, because I don't want this taking up too much of my time, because I got other things to show you in this video. Okay, so now remember this pattern right here from the black garbage bag I showed you a few minutes ago, and that pattern right there. Okay, and hold on, and also remember these right here. Okay, let me just do something here real fast. Okay, now you want to definitely notice these right here, because we're going to see if we can find any of these within the shielding too. Okay, so now, alright, so look at that one right there. Let me flatten it so you can see it better. Look at its shape. Okay, now compare that shape on the shielding, okay, to at least part of this. Okay, now remember that aluminum foil shielding that you're seeing that right there, okay? I'm trying to flatten it so the entire thing is shown. This is one hole right here, but part of the aluminum foil. So notice that right there, okay? And then obviously you're going to notice that these are also perfect pin-shaped holes, circular, okay? Now, again, going back to this one, hold on, a piece of aluminum foil that was behind it is covering it now. All right, hold on a second. Bear with me a second. Okay, so now look at that and then compare it to this. Okay, and even this. Okay, now, so let's see what else we can find in this right here. These are massive, 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 almost perfect circular holes. But I've also noticed in this, and because I'm not getting the best lighting right now, and I don't want to keep taking too much time on this particular aspect of this video, because I'm getting ready to segue into some other things that I want to expose. Okay, so I'm trying my best to show you this in the best possible way that I can right now, considering the light situation. Now, I know that if you are using your common sense, I know that you're deliberating that there's no way that this could be almost identical to a T if something was not going on. All right, now I do apologize for this lighting situation. I definitely thought I was going to be able to show you. Let me bring this up over here, see if we can get any better. Okay. Bear with me. Now, this is one of the two pieces that I want to show you. Okay. So let's just bring this across here. Look at those. Now compare those three right there to these three right here. Okay? Now what you need to know is that this particular sheet, there's two sheets I'm showing you. This is the first one. Okay, there's right on the edge. Okay? And a lot of times when I fold this on my head, the edges end up right on my face. Alright, so that's the first piece. Now let me show you a second piece I got over here. Okay, and then let's see what's in this. This one was just created 3 days ago. Okay, 3 days ago. At this very spot, used at this spot. Okay, so let's show you this one. Okay. This is pissing me off. The light is not cooperating. Alright, hold on. Okay. Now this piece of aluminum foil shielding was literally just created by me 3 days ago. Okay. So you can see these are almost perfect circular holes. That's laser shit. Absolutely. If you went on the internet at Google or YouTube and you typed in laser pointers and then you watch a YouTube video concerning them, okay, you would see that lasers are they're basically lasers. I mean, you know what a laser looks like if you've ever seen them. Okay, if you looked at a laser pointer and you've seen a laser pointer being used, you would see that laser is very I'm trying to look for the right words. You would see that laser is going to project a laser pinpoint, okay, very thin line type of light. Okay, so it's going to produce, when you see laser pointers, if you projected a laser pointer light on something in the dark, you would be able to, and like onto the wall of your home, you would see that little laser light is going to be extremely small and circular. Well, welcome to laser directed energy weapons. Okay. Now, all right. So I'm going to conclude this part. That wasn't the best example I could have shown you, because unfortunately, the light situation in here was not as good as it has been in prior videos. Okay. Now you needed to know that these aluminum foil shieldings get wrapped around my head and face at night when I'm sleeping. So if I'm sleeping over here, and then you look at the direction of the holes, of some of the holes, okay, these holes are being created so that when the lasers, direct energy weapons lasers hit, they're coming from an angle hitting me right in the head. Because right over here where you see my finger pointing is where the laser holes are, okay, alright, and they're in direct line of sight with where I lay my head, which is where the shielding's at. Okay, so I want you to listen to this part of this audio file. This comes from the Techno Crime Fighters video series episode number 43, and I fast forwarded it's the audio from it, and I want you to listen to this. This is a person who's got a degree, I think a PhD in physics from Oxford, Dr. Catherine Horton. Listen to what she has to say.
The article is called Ex-Liverpool Captain and Wife Help rescue horses from ECHO Arena car park fire. Okay, so I want all investigators and all people who are interested to have a very good look at this video here that's shown on the website, because so actually let me make it big, because I will switch off the sound, but the sound is very important as well. But I just would like to play it because what you can see here, first of all, is this is the car park next to the big arena. In the arena itself, there was, I think, a horse show. I'm not sure if it was show jumping, but something like that involving horses. And then the car park burned down next door. So when you watch this footage of this car park, there are some peculiar details to pick up. And one detail is at 14 seconds. So you can just see the blaze inside. They're also, different. That looks almost like an electrical fire there. So I don't know what's sparking. But we've just had here, hang on, we passed 14 seconds. Let me just play it again. Because at 14 seconds, here, maybe I can stop it. Can you see this beam at the top of the screen? That thing? Because that to me looks like an actual laser pulse, a very long pulse from a laser shot somewhere from space, either from a drone, from a satellite, or from an airplane. And what's very interesting about this footage is that this is just a flash, and it seems to hit, if you look carefully and you extend this line, it seems to hit something on this floor of the car park. But what's curious is that when you turn on the audio, and I would recommend you play it from 13 seconds, and you just play 2 seconds over and over, you will hear the sound of an energy, a pulsed energy projectile impact on metal. And then it's a double sound, so it just goes tick, tick. And the second tick you can actually see as this form of lightning here. The first tick, I can't see anything, but the second one coincides with this one. And judging by the sound, it sounds very much like when I'm being shot at and I can hear these pulsed energy projectiles bounce off the aluminium or the metal around me. And I believe that this car park was set alight by directed energy weapons. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Okay, now remember that audio comes from Techno Crime Fighters episode number 43, and I'm about ready to show you right now her YouTube channel. Now, what you also want to do is you also want to, as soon as this zooms in, what you also want to pay attention to is this particular video within that playlist that I'm going to show you here in a minute. Now, as soon as this zooms in, the reason why I'm showcasing this is because this is also extremely relevant. This is Techno Crime Fighters episode number 58 on Dr. Catherine Horton. That's her right there, and that's who you just heard those verbal statements from my tape recorder that I just played 2 seconds ago. Okay? Now, this particular episode is not the audio from the audio you just heard. That's from episode forum number 43. I'm showcasing this and highlighting this because I'm going to try and squeeze some statements in concerning this particular episode. But before I do, I'm going to minimize this just here for a second. Okay? So that you can see. What you want to do is go into YouTube search box and type in Dr. Catherine Horton Stop 007 YouTube channel. And when you get to it, you want to then look for the playlist within her channel that's titled Techno Crime Fighters Forum. And then you want to go in and listen to and watch episode number 43. You want to watch all of them, absolutely. Anything you don't understand described in any or all videos, no matter how bizarre it sounds, strange, or whatever, do not dismiss it. In fact, write it down. And then as you continue to watch the videos, as you continue to investigate these described crimes, go back then and watch the videos and you'll understand it concerning why they're incorporating those specific statements within the subject matter of each video. Trust me, because knowledge is power. Okay? You're not safe in ignorance. Absolutely not. Now, these satanic rats who host this crime, they know... See, there is massive exposure on the internet concerning how doctors, hospitals, medical centers, and medical clinics are absolutely privately colluded with by these 6 satanic mass murdering animals. Okay, because gang stalking, it's not just a worldwide crime, it's a program. But it knows what it's doing to hundreds of thousands of people in America. Tens of thousands of those are online exposing what they endure daily. Okay? And so when they created this program, before they even started implementing it decades ago, okay, they knew that the victims were going to run for help. They knew the victims were going to eventually become educated about their factual experiences. And they knew, and since they knew what they're doing to the victims, torture, including torture that leads to death, they had to make sure that the victims would never be able to walk away with any type of evidence. Except for when they make mistakes. My fellow American citizens, welcome to truth. Hold on a second. Welcome to truth. See it before your eyes concerning what they did to mine. Now that YouTube link you see right there, that's this video right here, the number 58 one. These remote neural monitoring non-consensual eye lens implants are thoroughly discussed in this video, as well as a few others dedicated to this playlist, the Techno-Crime Fighters playlist. Now, the bumps that you see on the white part of the eyes, these are eye fluid and water sacs that formed on the surface of the eyes as a direct result of over 18 hours of extreme electromagnetic weapons attacks to the head, face, and throat on the night of June 2nd, 2020, and that continued up and through the night leading into June 3rd, 2020, and then for about 8 hours, 3 of those hours at the same property where the attack started at, and then about 5 hours at Bond's grocery store in La Jolla, San Diego, on Regents Road and Arabia Street. The electromagnetic weapons attacks are in the same psychotronic types of attacks that directed energy weapons attacks occur. And what they can do is basically vector your location and literally blanket your entire area, including the entire length and width of your tent, and then hit you with them continually. It causes the eye fluid, brain fluid, and water in the area that you're being hit at to start boiling, just like you boil an egg, because it's extreme heat. Now, as a result of being hit in the face, head, and throat for over 18 full hours at 2 separate spots, okay, one at a wooded area and the other one at Bonds, okay, between the night of June 2nd and it started around 9:30, 10 o'clock p.m. on June 2nd and segued all the way into at least 1, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock the next day at Bonds, okay? Which then caused the eye fluid sacs and water sacs to form in the eyes, on the surface of the eyes, pushing the back part of the remote neural monitoring eye lens implants that rest on the eyes out, making them visually transparent. Okay? So I'm going to play a little bit of this Techno-Crime Fighters episode 58 that's going to... So when you bring up episode number 58, as long as this video stays on her channel, as long as her channel stays up, go to this right here. It's titled Collecting Medical Evidence, Techno-Crime Fighters episode forum 58, Stop 007's YouTube channel, Dr. Catherine Horton. I'm going to play a little bit of it, and hopefully it won't take too long for it to start talking about these eye lens implants. Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to segue into a second video. Once this reaches the 33-minute mark, it will then start to create a separate video. So this will be a 2-part video series. So whatever part that you don't hear, because this is going to be uploaded to YouTube, so whatever continuing part you don't hear that I play from this audio, from this video, you're going to be able to see it continued in the second video once these 2 videos are put on YouTube. So you want to look for a YouTube video that shows me stating at the beginning, today's date is June 20th, 2021. Okay? Now, when it reaches the 33-minute mark, right after 33 minutes, I'm going to repeat that date. Okay? So you'll know, so when the second video gets uploaded, because it starts the second video on the SD card, the memory card, once it reaches the 33-minute mark. 33 minutes and 9 seconds, something along that. So I'll repeat it twice around that time frame. So I'm going to play the audio, and I want you to listen to what she has to say. So remember, what you're going to hear at the tail end of this video when you see it on YouTube, the continuation of these statements will be showcased at the beginning of the second video. So you'll be able to hear it in its sequential order. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and play it right now, and I'll stop it when it's reaching that point of the 33-minute mark.
Well, she talks about mesogens, which I still have to wrap my head around what exactly they are. But yes, she does talk about it, and she talks about nano hooks and nano claws and synthetic materials growing in these little here, for example, nanotubes and nanofibers. Oh wow. With images and so on, and silicon and an actual little erase, probably self-assembling, Because if you look into the whole field of nanotechnology, it's highly advanced right now, and it is indeed doing precisely this kind of thing. It's working with precision medicine initiatives, and it's creating tiny little bots and self-assembling thingies and devices that are able to enter the human body, traverse the veins, the arteries, coagulate, self-assemble, replicate, as you indeed found out with your analysis of Melanie's throat implant, right? Because that presumably is something that's self-assembled in her throat. It wasn't implanted wholesale. It was self-assembled from tiny little nanotech, right? I think in the case of Melanie, what happened is that she actually woke up with a huge surgical scar in the morning in her private room. She did have a surgical scar. Okay. She did have a huge surgical scar, and it was actually a huge lump. But as she went to work, because she couldn't do anything, she had to go to work, and she didn't know what the hell it was. She said that this thing started, but really macroscopically, started moving itself into position by itself as she was at work, and she felt this thing move. Now, she says that it was even moving at rest, and when I had to figure out how that could be done, I mean, of course, you can have remote-controlled little micromotors, but also a very easy way to do that is to use memory alloys and just heat them with microwave radiation. Oh, but there's also, if you go right now, I can, post the links when I eventually find them, because I did a bit of research on nanotech out there. They do have self-assembling nanotech, and there are videos now on YouTube which will show you how these tiny little thingies get together and start forming chains, and then they get progressively larger, and then they do precisely what you were talking about. They kind of self-assemble into some kind of shape. Yeah, exactly. I think what I have seen is certainly fibers growing, and that happens a lot. And actually, talking about diagnostics that people can do, I have seen scans of people where they use ultraviolet light, known as black light, and you can see the fiber network under the skin. And this fiber network should not be, naturally, your body should not be reflecting, this sort of light, or should not be showing up under ultraviolet or under black light, but it does. And you can get black light torches, off Amazon, off the internet. The other thing is...
All right, so I'm going to stop that right there. So it got stopped at 46 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm approaching the 33-minute mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it... Okay, this is now video 2. Hold on. Okay, so... All right, now this is now video 2. Okay. The first video that was made on June 20th, 2021. My name is Leslie Williams. Now, I'm not going to... what I'll do is make a couple fast, brief statements about some of the things that got exposed in video 1. So far with these phones, I have only seen this phone make a video that ended up being one video once it passed the 33-minute mark. Out of every video I've ever made. On all other videos, once it reached the 33-minute mark, it then segued into a second separate video on the SD card I'm making this video through. So if you end up watching this video and it appears to be an hour more long, then know then that video 1 is put with video 2. Otherwise, look in the same YouTube channel you see this video in, and look for the video where at the beginning you see me state today's date is June 20th, 2021. That way you'll know that that's the first video of this 2-part video series. So in the first video, I showed this right here. And I explained what these are. These are non-consensual remote neuromonitoring islands implants that was discovered in my eyes in a live Periscope broadcast on June 3rd, 2020, out here in San Diego, as I made a live Periscope video inside of the bathroom at University Town Center Mall, located in La Jolla, which is located in San Diego County, California. Now, what you see here is you also see